Hello YouTube and welcome to my detailed TARDIS tour. This hasn't actually been requested, I just thought it'd be quite a nice idea to do it. So starting with this, we have the two window panels which I drew myself, and this sign, the St John's ambulance sign. It does show that I've drawn them, but it looks better than just a plain door. As we come in, you can see lovely console. So we'll start actually here. We now have roundels scattered around the room. This I'm very sorry about. I know it looks ridiculous. I even look back in the films and I see it and I know it looks ridiculous. I'm not a football fan. This is here from when we moved, because we moved quite recently. I really want that to get painted over, and that should happen fairly soon. Normally on this part of the door there would be the phone. However, because it's blue tacked on, it does often come off. So here it is over here. This middle bit does in fact spin, and this top piece does come off, and we actually use it in episode 4. If you've seen the trailer, you will know this. So now I'll actually get a look at the console. So if we start on this side, first there are these nice lights on either side. This one doesn't work as well because we left it on for a whole day. Whoops. Over here there are some smaller switches, which, I don't know, I've always kept because I do actually quite like them, and they're quite useful just to have as little switches. However, they aren't the best built things. Here we have the charger with a red piece of Artron which is being charged, which corresponds to this, which has a blue piece, which means it is active, and you can put it in there, which looks very nice. Here we have some smaller turning dials, which I think look very nice, and actually because I enjoyed them so much, I've got some more over there. Here is the shields switch, which I say is the shield switch, however I mainly just use it as a flicker switch, which is nice though, so that goes up. These also are just some, yes, this is actually quite a common problem with this TARDIS, which you will know if you've ever been on set and been filming it. Which actually very few people have, there haven't been many people, but oh well, these do break quite a lot, but you know, they are quite fun, and yeah, I enjoy them. Over here we have the keyboard, which has actually been on the TARDIS for quite a while. It wasn't in the first video that was ever up with the TARDIS, but it was in the second, and yeah, this came from where my mum works. They were getting a new keyboard put in, and they were going to throw this one in the bin, and my mum was like, oh, I'll have it. So yeah, managed to get a keyboard for the TARDIS. Here is the plasma ball. This was added fairly recently because I wanted the console to have a bit more life and detail to it, so this was added on. Here we have the wheel, which is based on the Dynamic Works 2012 TARDIS, because I saw it and I actually thought that would look quite cool on my console. We have the smaller wheel here, which has just been on here for ages, and these two sort of turny dials, which aren't actually based on anything. The only thing I can say is that these were not my own builds. These came from a Brick Rose UK build, and I just removed them from the back and used them as dials instead. Over this side, these levers are also based, I'm so sorry about my finger then. These are based on the Dynamic Works 2012 TARDIS also, because these were on their first Series 1 console and then they got moved to the side. Here we have the sliders, which have been on the TARDIS for a very long time, and I hope they'll be on here for a long time. We have a smaller turny thing here, which doesn't really do a lot, but I actually quite like it. Quite a nice small switch here, which is probably my favourite switch on the console, because it's not like one where you have to pull it around all the way. You can just sort of pull it down, flick it up. This big lever here, which is new, in fact today, so this isn't in the episode, but I think it's quite nice. I do like big levers, so that's why that's on here. Over here there are these dials, like I mentioned earlier, which are pretty much the same build as these ones, so yeah, not much difference there. This red lever, which is based on the classic era of Doctor Who, with the red levers that will open the doors. yeah, I quite like that. We also now have a handbrake, which I mentioned in a live video that I did yesterday. So whenever this is in its landed form, this will be down, indicating the handbrake is on. Whenever we've taken off, this will be up, indicating that the handbrake is off. Here we have some smaller switches, which are just nice, and two big corresponding levers, which are just fun. These are, I guess, based on the Matt Smith Capaldi TARDIS. However, obviously they're not big red levers, they are big grey levers, but I like them quite a lot. And over here we have the phone charging port slash kind of phone port that you can just put the phone into. And my personal favourite thing on the TARDIS is the big dematerialisation and materialisation lever. Now with some new details on here, we've got these blue things which have actually been on here for a while, and obviously down here, and there's some smooth black tiles. However, now we actually have a clock in the middle because I thought, you know, it's a time machine, I think that'd look quite nice. So that's pretty much it in terms of controls. I'm always eager to change it, so actually if you have any suggestions for alterations you can leave those in the comments. And obviously the lovely main panel, which has 3 different settings. I will show you those now. So the first setting is this sort of thing, where it just sort of flicks between the different colours, which does look nice. However, I wouldn't actually ever have that on for filming purposes. The next one is if you press it again, it'll lock it on the colour that you were on. And the third option is the one that I always have on, which is sort of fading between colours, because again it adds more life to the console, I think anyway. I think it looks really nice. Something that kind of was on my mind quite a lot while building this was flow, because always when the Doctor's been sort of in here doing stuff with levers in any TARDIS, he's been able to sort of flow between all the different controls and things, or just go from here to... Oh, I missed this, I'm so sorry. This little button here lights up normally. Let me just... Yep, there we go. Lovely, lovely light. Yeah, that's lovely. So yeah, I like to have an element of flow, so you can turn these, do this, pull this up, flick the switches, push this up, pull this down, this, and then just go bang. Because I think it works really well, and I think that having flow, especially when you're doing it, adds a very nice feel to the TARDIS. Final few things. Over here we have the sonic charger with my lovely sonic screwdriver inside of it. Because I ran out of space on the console actually when making its redesign, which someone picked up on, thank you very much, Celestial Filmmaker. I will link your channel in the description. Thank you very much for picking up on the redesign. I'm glad someone cares that much. Wow. So yeah, lovely sonic charger here. And obviously here the microscope, which has been taken off as well, but I like it, and it's still in the console room. One thing I will also talk about, because it could have been, but isn't, this. It's just a star projector. You can kind of see one of the lights is still just barely working. This was going to be in the TARDIS. It was either going to go underneath or up on that wall. However, first time I plugged it in, because it either works on batteries or has a little plug socket just there, I plugged it in because it takes the same plug as my plasma ball, plugged it into down there as well, turned it on, all the lights blew apart from the green one. So that doesn't work. Brilliant. So yeah, nothing I can actually do about that. If all the lights are blown, they're not replaceable, which is a pain, but oh well. The plasma ball adds a lot more life to it now, and it's lovely. And then obviously the changing lights look very nice. And that's pretty much it for the TARDIS console. Like I said, if you have any suggestions for changes I can make, I'm always open to make adjustments to it. It sounds really ridiculous calling it a her, but you know, Doctor does, so oh well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the TARDIS console tour. If it does get another redesign, which I hope it will, not for a while though, I think I'll stick with this for the rest of season 1. And yeah, hope you enjoyed, and please leave your suggestions for changes in the comments section. Please, I really want to make it as good as I can, not just for the episodes, but just to visually look at. So yeah, leave suggestions in the comments.